So right now we're in day 1 of our third module for the 800-hour yoga teacher training that we do, which is really helping people to become yoga therapists. It's the highest level certification that we have right now nationally and internationally in yoga. So there's some very dedicated students in this class today because they're here not just dedicated in time and study, but also in what they want to do for their service to others. So our focus this weekend in this module is recovery using yoga and Ayurveda. And I mean recovery from addiction and anxiety and PTSD, but also we can think of it as recovery from self-doubt or the things we do that sort of slowly numb our lives, or the things that we do that derail or distract us. How do we stay the course to living our best life? That's the question that we're answering. What do we do? We'll get that all sorted through in the next hour. So if you're just here for the next hour, you're gonna rock it. No, of course I'm teasing. We're not going to get it all sorted for the next hour. But what I do want to help us do is this process we call squeeze and release. And we call that not in just yoga and Ayurveda, but squeeze and release. It's a technique of helping your body to contract, relax, so that muscles that are currently holding tension, we may not even know that it's happening, but as you engage the muscle and then you disengage it, engage and disengage, that you get to help your body go down to a different baseline of relaxation. So please take a comfortable seat and we will get started. I'm really glad that you're here. I smile to see you. Thank you for being here. I'm going to push back from my computer so I won't knock into it when we do pranayama. So please rest your hands in your lap. Let your eyes close and come into your own center. When you have a sense of coming into your center, if that's kind of immediately available to you right now, then that's a blessing. If you have to kind of sift through the residue of thoughts or activities or behaviors, know that that's quite normal. And the fact that you're interested in sifting through to come back to your center is already an asset to you. It's already a gift you give to yourself. When you have a sense of connecting to that center, what I'm going to ask you to do is imagine the breath like a concentric circle that expands and then contracts, and it expands and contracts. And I'd like us to start with this concentric circle of the inhale to be just a slight expansion, and then a return. And then just gradually, we're going to let that expansion become wider. And that gradual process is going to take some discernment and elegance on your part. You could sense this responsibility you have within. Slowly, slightly increasing, expanding circumference for the breath. When you sense the breath ever expanding like this, it's actually stretching you from the inside. So it'll start to push out against the space between the organs. It presses into the myofascial tissue. It will eventually expand your rib cage, and you'll have a sense that even the outer body becomes more expanded because the inner body is doing that process also. So you can now start working towards what you would think of as your most expansive inhale. Don't go there like a light switch turning up all the way, more like a dimmer switch, still rising and rising. And notice when you get to a more expansive breath, how do you then pace the exhale to go back to where you started, this kind of home base inside. And let's do 3 more breath cycles. So breathing in to expand. And breathing out, slowly softening to return to that place from where your inhale began, that kind of home base. And then twice more, please. And please bring your hands together at your heart with a dedication to that kind of discernment in how we expand and then release, and how we're going to be engaging and then softening. With a dedication to that discernment and elegance, let's begin with Sahana Vavatu. Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Punakto, Saviryang Karavavai, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Ma Vidvishavai, Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Punakto, Saviryang Karavavai, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Ma Vidvishavai, Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Punakto, Saviryang Karavavai, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Ma Vidvishavai. Om Shanti Om Shanti Shanti Om. And let's do one more time an inhale where you go from that which is most central and you expand outwards, a kind of more expansive, not less expansive breath. And then exhale slowly, and you can bow your head to your heart. And release your hands, and please open your eyes. So some of the poses and practices that we'll do together are going to be familiar to you. The difference will be in what I'm saying about some of the poses and how I'd like you to proceed. So let's come back to your yoga mat. I'm going to move myself back, and we're going to be going to downward facing dog pose to start. So let me get this transition set up here. And I would like you to have a couple of yoga blocks back at your mat. So let's warm up the shoulders and get accustomed to the feeling of downward facing dog pose. And then I'll show you the practice I want us to do to have that kind of strong engagement, complete surrender, strong engagement, and then surrender. So come over to table pose in preparation for dog. Let's take the right hand well forward of the left hand. Press your fingerprints into the floor and reach your hips back as you lower your left elbow down. And reach the hips back, but not to your heels. So the hips go back more like a puppy dog pose. You can relax the weight of your head. And let your breath start to come into your lower abdomen, into your pelvis, and into your back waist. And what I'm going to recommend to you is that on the inhale you sense a more expansive breath. And then the exhale like a long, slow, gentle, dimmer switch going down. And then the inhale like an expansive breath, as if you're filling up a parachute in the back of the body. And the exhale long and slow and smooth. Really take your time on the exhale breath. Once more, inhale an expansive, a concentrically expansive breath. And then exhale, long and slow, smooth and steady. Press down into your left hand, return to table. Take your left hand now forward of your right, press your fingertips into the floor. And as you lower your right elbow, reach your hips back, but not down. You may relax the weight of your head. And try this with the breath again. So the inhale's kind of stretching your body from the inside out. An expansive breath, like a big parachute. And on the exhale, really take your time, slowly releasing the breath. And that slow release, you may feel the tone of your lower belly gently increasing, but the sort of ease of the outer body softening. And then inhale again. And a slow, smooth, and steady exhalation. Press into your right palm. Return your left hand to table pose. Now tuck your toes under and reach high to downward dog pose. And let's do this downward dog pose with the knees bent, please. So you'll have a chance to straighten your legs, no worries. But for right now, please bend your knees and take the spine way back. Reach your hips high. And inhale deeply to lengthen the spine. And then exhale and press back with your thighs. Reach your shins back, press your heels down. Then inhale, bend your knees and prioritize your spine. So from your fingertips to your sitting bones, lengthen. And then exhale and slowly straighten both legs as you reach back. Energize your leg muscles. Let's repeat that 3 times more. So on your inhale, you are actually bending the knees, and I want you to let the spine get longer and lighter. And on the exhale, press back with both thighs, making your legs stronger. Maybe your heels become more grounded. And inhale to bend the knees. And exhale to stretch back with both legs. Be dynamic and strong, please. And one more time. And now touch your knees down and bring one block in so that you can do child's pose. And I'm going to ask you to turn your palms face up, rest your elbows on the floor, and to the best of your ability, profoundly relax your fingers, your thumbs, your forearms, elbows and upper arms, your shoulders and your upper back. So you were quite engaged with the upper body there. And now I'm asking you to have a really complete sense of ease, which you can invite into your body. From your fingertips to your heart, from your heart to your fingertips. And then please walk your hands to a place beneath your knees and shoulders and press yourself up to kneeling and watch here. So now we're going to keep the arms and torso very stable, and we'll be lowering the knees to lightly touch the floor, or we're going in the direction of the floor, and then we're going to come back up from there. So that looks like this. This is my fully outstretched downward dog pose, and this will be the inhale. And on the exhale, you're going to take the knees and lower them towards, and potentially you'll touch the floor. And then we'll inhale to straighten both legs. So we're changing the breath practice that you just had. It's in reverse. And when you exhale, you're going to come down a little bit lower than you would have been on the first go there. You do not need to touch the floor, but I would like it to go in that direction. You'll probably sense that your leg muscles have a little bit more responsibility. Okay, so let's try this out together. We'll do it 5 or 6 times slowly and thoughtfully. Picture that you want a really dynamic engagement of your body. Okay, so the inhale should feel robust. And the exhale really slow and steady, as if you were deflating a balloon slowly. And then the inhale, robust and dynamic. And the exhale, slow and steady, as if you were deflating a balloon and taking your time. And the inhale, dynamic. And the exhale, slow and steady. You have to keep the structure of the body strong. We'll let the mind be relaxed during the exhale. Then inhale, dynamic. Invite your mind to kind of light up with your intention there. And last time, exhale, slow, steady. This time allow the knees to come down without crashing to the floor. Put the big toes together and reach back to child's pose with your head potentially reaching the floor if that's within the comfort of your practice. Walk your elbows back towards your knees and palms face down. And invite your body to go kind of limp, right? As if you were a small pile of cooked spaghetti noodles and you're just limp right there. Invite your body to be really at ease. So that was exertion to ease, exertion to ease. And then walk your hands back towards your knees, please. And rise up to standing. And take a wide stance on your mat. Bring your 2 blocks in to focus. Okay, let's do feet parallel, please. Place your hands on your hips. Let the hips just come slightly forward, like in line with your toes. You might sense a stretch at the front of the pelvis and the hip flexors. And then reach up through your heart like a little back bend. Yeah. Roll your shoulders back and look up. And then with your exhale, keep your leg muscles toned and bow forward to Prasara to Paratanasana. You can place your hands between your feet, so foot, hand, foot. You could place your hands on the blocks. Now inhale, rise up to your fingertips, lengthen your spine. And exhale, bow towards your legs, and think of it almost like you're bowing, but you really want to have a feeling of a sit-up at the end of the exhale, like you've just been doing a little abdominal workout. Then inhale, uncurl the low belly, bring your spine and your heart forward. And exhale to bow towards your legs, thinking at the end of this exhale it's going to feel like when you used to do sit-ups and you were really toning the deep low belly. Inhale, glide forward. And exhale to curl in and down. Press into your hands for a little more strength in your shoulders. That will translate into your trunk and into your belly. And one more time, inhale, glide forward. And though we're doing this dynamic forward bend, and it's strong, you can take the exhale slowly, slowly. And then shift your hands to your hips. And as you rise up, lift your heart, let your hips come slightly forward in line with your toes, raise up through your collarbones, lift your gaze. And then exhale, bring your hips into neutral, front to back neutral, relax both arms. Turn your right foot directly to the right. Turn the left heel slightly out for warrior two. The blocks are going to be important in a few moments, so just keep them as decorations right now. Yeah. Inhale, sweep your arms wide. And then bend your right knee, please. Virabhadrasana 2. Okay, gaze out over your right fingertips. What I'd like you to do now is when you inhale, press into both feet as if you were going to stretch the yoga mat between your feet. And from your heart, reach out into your fingertips. So you sense on the inhale there's this incredible expansion. On the exhale, let the outer body soften over the structure of the body. So like the skin of your body, your senses, your hair, your tongue, the tiny hairs on the arms, everything can soften around the structure of your body during the exhale. And then you inhale to light that back up again. And exhale to soften. It's not that the pose goes limp. So on the inhale, the pose is dynamic and expansive. And on your exhale, you let the outer body relax over the structure of the inner body. One more time, please. Now bring your hands together at your heart. Rise up. Make your feet parallel. And come down to Prasara with the hands on your blocks stretched out. Now, much like we did in the puppy dog pose at the start of your practice, I'd like you to inhale a concentric, expansive in-breath, like a parachute in the back of your body. And then exhale really slowly and picture the dimmer switch of energy, effort, exertion, softening down towards silence. And then inhale your dynamic and concentric expanding breath. And exhale slowly, slowly to soften all the way. And 3 times more, please. Inhale, so it's a dynamic, expanding, stretching from the inside of the body to the outside. And exhale, slowly, slowly softening. Take your time with the exhale. Like butter melting in a slightly warmed pan, not like butter sizzling. Okay, again, please. Now walk your hands back towards your hips and please rise up to stand. We're going to take warrior two to the other side. So turn your left foot directly left. Turn the right heel slightly back. Inhale. Sweep your arms wide. Yeah, good. And then bend your left knee. Gaze over your left fingertips. And as you're gazing, press down into your left heel and your right heel. And on the inhale, imagine that you're stretching the pose concentrically from the inside out. On the exhale, like the outer body softens over that inner structure. It would be like how the curtain hangs from the curtain rod. The curtain relaxes, but the curtain rod maintains its structure, its support to the curtain. We're working with that kind of pulsation between these dynamic but connected responses, which is also happening in nature. There is expansion, there is contraction, there is something dynamic, something inward. One more time, please. And then you can bring your hands together at your heart, straighten your left leg, turn your left foot in so your feet are parallel, and then come back down over your hips and thighs to Prasara to Paratanasana. And for 3 breath cycles, I want you to sense the inhale is dynamic and expansive, and your inhale is a gift to your exhale. Let the exhale be as slow and thoughtful as you like. Your body softening unnecessary exertion, any sense of overdoing or striving. Now as you finish the next breath cycle there, I'd like you to take the hands and blocks back so they're under your shoulders and go heel toe to center. Place your hands on your hips and rise up to mountain pose. Okay, now please lie on your back for a few moments. Lie down and let yourself get really still. You can play starfish, like starfish pose. So feet out maybe as wide as your mat, maybe wider. Hands out to the side, arms out. Watch your body go from exertion to stillness. And try to sense the aliveness, the vibration, the vitality that's also happening. So you're going from exerting to stillness, witnessing that prana or vitality is still very fresh, effervescent. Okay, now please bend one knee at a time. Roll to your side. And you're going to be lying on your stomach now, so I hope you didn't have a large breakfast 2 minutes before class or anything else that you ingested. And what we're going to do is Salambasana, a few different variations on Salambasana. Okay, so please lie on your stomach. And set yourself up so that your arms can go out wide in a T shape. Turn your head to the right. Stretch your legs back behind your toes pointed. I'd like you to sense like if this is the downward starfish position, so downward facing starfish. When you start to energize the legs, so toes, calves, knees, thighs, then energize your hips, low belly, Rotate your head to center, and with your legs grounded, inhale to take flight into Salambhasana. And try to stay for about 5 breath cycles, but allow for the breath and the body to move a little bit. The legs will stay grounded, but on your inhale, it would be natural if your pose goes slightly up, and on the exhale, if it becomes slightly deflated. So in this process, you want to keep the tone of the muscles of the back of the body. So the change in rising and descending is because of the breath and the lungs. It's not that you're letting go of any effort in the pose per se. It's that the breath is making this like a wave. Now the next time that you're going to exhale to come down, turn your head to your left and go into your limp starfish position, face down. Downward facing starfish pose. Bring yourself to center now, and we're going to plan to also lift the legs this time. Take your arms straight back towards your feet. Let's do palms face up so you're at the back of your hands. So energize your toes, your calves, your knees, your thighs. Energize your fingers and your wrists, your pelvis, low belly, lower back, mid back, upper back, shoulders, and then inhale, lift up to Salambhasana. Lift your arms, palms facing up, reaching back, and also lift your legs. Lift the base of your skull and see if you can breathe in and breathe out smoothly. So the contraction or tone of the muscles on the back of your body, that's going to be consistent. What's changing in the inner body is the breath. So we go slightly up with the inhale. We have a slight descent with the exhale. 3 times more. Roll the shoulders up towards the ceiling. We tend to get a little bit lax right there behind the shoulder joints. Now when you next exhale, turn your head to your right and come down to downward facing Shavasana for a moment. And let everything about the body relax. Soften your mind, your senses, your tongue. Release your fingers and your thumbs. And also release the part of you that has a sense that you have to be in charge, or that somehow willpower is going to get you through things. It's very different than coming through the ups and downs of life with discernment or elegance. You can deeply relax your mind, the part of your mind that thinks you're not doing enough, or you have to try harder, or somehow you lack willpower, even though you're really quite willing. And now we're going to do the next variation where we clasp the hands at the small of the back. And if clasping your fingers behind your back is too difficult, you can hold a yoga strap between your hands. So we're going to roll the shoulders up towards the ceiling. Give a good strong squeeze of your upper back muscles. And also lift your legs. Come up to Salambhasana. And do your best to breathe smoothly and let the pose have the rock that it's going to have. It's going to come up slightly. Don't resist that. It is going to descend slightly, so no resistance there. But maintain the integrity of your pose. So working with discernment and elegance right now is very different than working from a place of willpower or coercion with your body or with your mind. So one more time, breathing in, squeeze the upper back. And then exhale and lower down, turn your head to your left. Come down to downward facing Shavasana. Let everything relax, even the part of the mind that thinks you have to do more or try harder. And place your hands beneath your shoulders. Press up to table pose. And then come to lying on your back, please. Watch out for things like your glasses, in my case. Okay, when you lie on your back, we're now going to use like a little Jane Fonda experience. Yeah, okay. I was teasing you, of course, about Jane Fonda, but we are going to use the abdominal muscles, so there'll be the knees coming in towards the chest, knees going up, feet down, and then bridge pose. So let's take the arms down alongside your torso, please. And the bridge pose that we'll do is really the lower hemisphere of the body. So it's not so much that you have to get the chest and shoulders to bridge pose, as I'm going to be asking you to lift up like this. Okay, so let's inhale, hips on the floor. And then exhale, squeeze your knees in towards your chest without using your hands. Use your deep belly muscles. Keep your chin in towards your throat, so it's not getting ejected towards the ceiling. And then inhale, knees up to vertical. Keep your lumbar spine against the floor. And exhale, place your feet down slowly, keeping the lumbar spine on the floor. Now inhale, raise your tailbone first, go up to low bridge pose. And exhale, lower down, vertebrae by vertebrae, so your lumbar spine will touch the floor again. Keeping your lumbar spine touching the ground, inhale your knees up just to vertical. Exhale, squeeze your knees into your chest without your hands. Keep the chin in towards the throat a little bit. Inhale, knees to vertical. Exhale, touch your feet down, keeping your lumbar spine stable. Heels down. Inhale, raise up, low bridge pose. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, knees to your chest, knees to vertical, just to vertical. And exhale, knees to the chest. Now keeping the knees into the chest, inhale, lift your torso and reach forward. And then exhale, roll your torso down, shoulders and then your head. Inhale, knees to vertical. Exhale, toes to the floor, toes and then heels. Inhale, raise your hips, low bridge pose. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, knees to vertical. Exhale, knees to your chest. Knees stay in. Inhale, roll up. Exhale to roll down. And last time through, inhale, knees to vertical. Keep your lumbar spine on the floor. Exhale, toes, and then heels to the floor. Inhale, raise your tailbone, go up, low bridge pose, press your arms down. Exhale, roll down. Now reach for one of your blocks. Place it under the back of your pelvis and come into supported bridge pose. This time I do want you to tuck the shoulders under and secure the shoulders, but then please rest. Let all exertion from the last activity, let that fade. When you're resting, imagine the inner body becoming free from unnecessary tension. Roll the shoulders under and keep them there as you soften your eyes, your tongue, your throat, your heart, your solar plexus, the low belly, pelvis and hips and inner thighs, knees and shins, heels and toes. And just a few moments more right there. Then I'm going to ask you to do something in your supported bridge pose where we can help to release the neck muscles. Now, a way to do this, when you've tucked the shoulders under there and you're in the supported bridge position, tuck them under a tiny bit more strongly. And then keeping your left shoulder particularly grounded, turn your head as far as it comfortably goes to your right. Press your left shoulder down. If you'd like to add a little bit of rotation to your head, you can gently place your right wrist, the back of your wrist, on your left temple. And release your left arm down if you were using it, or right arm down, excuse me, if you were using it. Bring your head to center. Now secure the right shoulder, tuck it under strongly, and turn your nose as far as it comfortably goes to your left. And you may choose to use your left wrist near to your right temple. And then release your left arm if you're using it. Roll your head to center. Press into your heels, and let's put the block aside. And now I'm going to ask you to come into your starfish position and think back to like middle school or high school when you might have learned this in gym class. I'd like you to squeeze the toes of your right foot, your right arch, your right ankle. Squeeze the calf and the knee and your thigh muscles, and then float your right leg off the floor about 2 inches. You'll feel the right low belly also, so breathing in and breathing in. Contract those muscles so they're very dynamic right now. And then let the right leg drop down to the ground. Okay, let's repeat that. Curl the toes of the right foot. Energize your right foot muscles. Come into your calf and your knee and your thigh, your hip, the back of your butt, your right low belly. Float your leg 2 inches, 3 inches off the floor. Do not let the chin poke up, please. Keep the rest of the spine relatively neutral. No need to tense your thumbs or your eyes. Breathe in. And then let your right leg drop down to the floor. Okay, curl the toes of your left foot. Squeeze your left arch muscles. Energize your foot. Find your calf and your knee. Squeeze your thigh and then your butt muscles, and raise your left foot 2 inches off the floor, 3 inches from the floor. And breathing in. Keep your left leg dynamic, like the dimmer switch is up on high. And then let it drop to the floor. Dimmer switch going down to low. And then again, squeeze the toes of your left foot. Wake it up. Whole left leg squeeze. Raise your left leg about 2 inches from the floor. Breathing in. And then let that go. Drop it down. Now, without lifting the legs this time, squeeze the toes of both feet. Squeeze your ankles, your calves, your thighs, your kneecaps. Squeeze the butt muscles. And breathe into the lower hemisphere of your body, and then let all those muscles relax. Okay, both hands like fists now. And squeeze your hands. Curl your knuckles in towards your forearms. Squeeze your forearms. Squeeze your upper arms. Raise your arms up 2 inches from the floor. Squeeze, and you could think tighten, tighten. For a few moments, the dimmer switch is on high. And then exhale, let that drop down. And do that one more time. Squeeze both fists, both wrists and arms. Squeezing, squeezing. Float your arms up off the floor 2 or 3 inches. And then exhale, let that go. And now the face. You're going to squeeze your face towards your nose, and then we'll let that go as well. So squeeze in, scrunch your face towards your nose. And then stretch your eyes wide, take the tongue out, make the whole face expansive. And then exhale and relax your face. And now we come down to a deep relaxation. So squeezing, releasing, contracting, surrendering. Energy to stillness, effort to ease. Allow everything to soften. Imagine yourself like the sand through the hourglass, getting heavier and heavier with relaxation. Invite yourself to deeply, deeply let go. Imagine the sand through the hourglass, moment to moment. Let your body get heavier with relaxation. Allow yourself to go a few degrees deeper into letting go, like sand through the hourglass. And allow that to go deeper yet again over the course of the next minute or so. Let any part of your body that has not yet become limp with relaxation, invite it to do so. Asatoma Satkamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityora knees. You can sense the release you were able to provide your body. And then gently wiggle your fingers and your toes. Please bend your knees. And thoughtfully roll to your right side. And use both hands to bring yourself back up to sitting. And rest your hands in your lap when you come up. And try to sense the gift you have given to yourself here. And bring your hands together at your heart. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. You're coming back home to your true nature, to your essence. So nice to see you. To see the you, any part of you I like to see, but to see you coming back to your essence.